Hey ho, my name is Joe. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about some recent reads and reading updates, but books I want to read in the future. Hello there, if you are new here, my name is Joanna. I refer to myself here as Joe, and I am Fight and Read Like a Girl, where here I do things bookish and polycystic ovarian syndrome related, but I'd rather talk about books because I have nobody else to talk to, so that's why we're here. So if you click on this video, thank you. If you are new here, hi, how are you? I'm Joe. If you are coming back, I'm so happy you are here. I have so much to talk about today, and we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into this video because I don't even know what, this video will entail. Because this video is... There's so much to talk about. First, we're gonna talk about books that I've recently read, because I think the last book I talked to you about was Wish, and I've read a lot more since that. I've read a lot more since that. And let's see, I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books since the last time we talked. And when I say that this reading year for me has been really good, this reading year for me has been really good. I am over 31 books this year, and normally I usually read 30 books in a year. So the fact that I've read over 31 books already this year, and the year is about a little over half over, is saying a lot for me. So let's jump in here. So the last book we talked about was Wish. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. I think I'm saying that wrong. So I actually read this with my client, because if you guys don't know, I'm a direct support professional, and I read this with her, and she read it out loud to me, but I'd say that counts as reading it. So that's why it's on my list. I didn't actually give it a rating because I never really give Shel Silverstein a rating, but overall I would say, yeah, I would recommend it to somebody. More or less, I'd probably recommend it to an age group that is maybe like 14 and under, because there is a lot of hard words in there. My client has a reading level of probably like a 16-year-old, but they prefer a lot of the short books and stuff like that. The next one I have is Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, Everything That You Need to Know About How to Manage It. This book was terrible. It was a 45-minute audiobook, and some of the worst information I have ever seen on Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. I would definitely not recommend this. I didn't even want to give it a rating on Storygraph because I didn't want my rating to go down on my average for the year so far. And just don't even bother with this book. There's so much wrong information. If you need information on Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, you're better off going to Google and Googling it, because the information that was in this book was just absolutely terrible. Alright, next book is a book that I picked up because of TikTok, and because I follow this lovely lady on TikTok, and I find her stories just absolutely fascinating. And she wrote a book about just some of the encounters that really made an impact on her. But we have The In-Between by Hadley Vales RN. So she is a hospice nurse, and she wrote down some of the stories that have really impacted her life and just the people that she met along her way. And this story, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This had me sobbing with every single story. I think the one that impacted me the most was Sue. There was Sue. Who else was there? Oh, there was Sue and Alfred. That was his name. Those two impacted me a lot. And even if you don't read nonfiction and you are like in like any sort of medical field, or you have had to deal with nurses or anything like that, I highly recommend this book to you, because this will have you crying. I mean, it's definitely, I wouldn't say maybe the best written, but it comes from the perspective of an actual nurse, like a hospice nurse. And I loved this book so much. I'm pretty sure this book is probably going to make my favorites of the year. The next book that I have that I read, I listened to the audiobook, and I also read it as an ebook as well. And I do want to get my hands on a physical copy of this because I did enjoy it. I did end up giving it 4 out of 5 stars just because I feel like it fell flat, but it was really good. That is Black Bear Alibi by J.C. Fuller. Now this one, you follow a young sheriff who just moved to a island off the coast of Oregon, and her first case is to solve a murder mystery. And she finds this, she gets a call about this body that was just dumped on the island, and it was mutilated by a bear. But it wasn't killed by the bear. It was definitely, the throat was slit. And it's just them just trying to solve that mystery. And this was so good. I was so engaged. I think I finished this in like 2 days because I could not stop thinking about it when I wasn't listening to it. I downloaded the audiobook, and then I read it physically as well because I wanted to get it read, and I had stuff to do when I was listening to it at work, but then when I got home, I wanted to sit in front of the AC because it was really hot, so I downloaded the ebook on my Kindle with Kindle Unlimited, and I just read it. I actually listened to it and read it along with the audiobook so I can get it done quicker. But this was so good. I definitely gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and I have already picked up the second one, which I haven't listened to on an audiobook yet, but I plan to, like, very, very soon. So good. I found this author on TikTok, and if you have not read any of her books, I highly recommend them to you, because I've only read this one book, but I can definitely tell you I will be picking up more from this author because I love the way she writes. I love the way just everything just flows all together. I love the twist that I did not see coming in this book, and I'll definitely be picking up more from this author, like, very soon. The next book that I have is The Woman I Befriended by Sarah Kate. I've talked about Sarah Kate before, and this book I ended up giving 4 out of 5 stars. This book was about a woman who moves into this small little neighborhood, and let me see if I can word that right. So this woman is watching this house from a woman who moved in across the street, and all of a sudden she sees a man go in but doesn't see a man go out. So she suspected this new woman that moved in of murder, and that's not the case at all. So she tries to befriend her, tries to figure out who she is, blah blah blah, and I don't want to go any more than that because I'll totally give it like away spoilers and whatnot. But this book was so good. This book is so good. I highly recommend Sarah Kate if you haven't checked her out already. She is on Amazon. She's through Kindle Unlimited, and you can also buy her books physically. She's a very good author. The next one I have is Apologies That Never Came by Pierce Alex Gentai. Gentai. I'm probably saying that wrong. So this one is kind of like poems. And this one talks about, like, you know, the apologies that you feel like you never got from somebody. And I related to a lot of these. See, because I annotated a few of them. So I related to quite a few of these, actually. I mean, I have always wanted certain apologies in my life, and I kind of feel like I got that with these. And I ended up giving I didn't give her a star rating because I wasn't really sure what to give it. But I really did enjoy this book. I would recommend this to you if you are into poetry. I mean, I've been getting into poetry lately. I mean, it might have to do with the fact that I have a poem book published. Link is below. But I don't know. You tell me. Is it because I have a book published? I don't know. But poetry has been kind of been like my thing lately. And I mean, I feel like I need to expose myself to more poetry that way so I can figure out what's out there. And this was a good place to start. Alright, the next book I haven't really figured out a rating for it yet because I just finished it not too long ago. And it's still rambling around in my brain and I don't even know what rating I want to give it. But that is The Gathering Room by Nicole E. Shores, A Tale of Nellie Butler. Now, this is based on a true story, and this takes place in my home state, in the state of Maine. And it takes place kind of like down near the coast. So like down toward Franklin, Maine, toward York, Maine. What are some of the other places? I forget what they mention. But it takes place down by the coast. And so you follow Nellie, who marries this guy named Captain Butler. I can't remember what his first name was. But they end up falling in love. And I don't know if this is spoiled, but she ends up dying in childbirth. And then she comes back, like not like physically comes back, but like ghostly comes back and tells him that who needs to marry next. So this is a really slow pace type of like ghostly thriller, I guess you could say. The ghost doesn't really show up until like in the middle of the book. So I couldn't really say it's ghostly, but this was really good. I'm hoping in September, I think it is, I'm going to go meet this author so I can get this book signed. But I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars. This was so good. You can find this book on Amazon, and I think it's only sold in Amazon right now at the moment. But I'm not exactly sure. But that's where I picked up my copy, was Amazon. And I cannot wait. Like, this has like such a supernatural twist to it. And just Maine folklore. I mean, I never really got into folklore, but I think this was a good place to start for me. So, highly recommend. Alright, and the last book that I'm going to talk about that I recently read, and then we'll jump into my plans that I want to do, that are coming. The last one that I read is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. This was so good. There's so many relatable poems in here. I mean, I annotated the hell out of this thing. So for annotations, I've got things that remind me, words that I felt deep in my soul, love, Facebook worthy, like things that I want to share on Facebook. We've got things I want to share with my therapist, current fears, or current feels, relatable, and healing to share with my therapist. So let's go to one of those Facebook worthy ones because, okay, it is part of the human experience to feel pain. Do not be afraid. Open yourself to it. That's just one poem. And I never, like, after reading this, I didn't realize how short poems could be. And that, like, opens up a lot of, like, things that I can get out of this brain and to create a new poetry book. So, I'm really excited that I've been opening myself up to more poetry. But, here. I did end up giving this 5 out of 5 stars just because this was perfect. And I cannot wait to read more by this author. Alright. So those are the books that I've read recently. I mean, let's start here. So right now, I am currently reading Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's currently in my car because I've been taking that book to work. Because I've got a few hours that I can read. And then I've got From Blood and Ash by Jennifer R. Armentrout that I'm currently reading. I'm not stuck in a reading slump on this one, by all means. But it's been taking me a while to get through this one. I'm not even really sure why. I just haven't really been in the mood to pick it up. Eventually, I do want to get to The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This has dragons in it, so I'm all for it. I can't wait to pick this up. And it's just, she's big. I mean, this thing is humongous. And I think that's what's intimidating the most. Like, it's been a long time since I've read a book over 400 pages. It's been a long time. We're just going to put things away because eventually I need to get my office clean. So, moving on to books that I want to get to soon. I do have to hop up on my computer here for a second. Oh, with some lovely ladies off of TikTok, I am going to be doing kind of like a sisterhood of the traveling pants, but they're with books. And I thought this was such a cute idea when I saw it, and I knew I had to participate in it. So that's the one reason why I am reading Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and a few others that I'm going to be reading as well. I'm just trying to find the form. Here it is. So we have the book that I'm reading, and I will be passing on, and when I'm done reading it and annotating it on my way through. That's what the fun part is. Like, we're all annotating on our way through, and it's so cool. It's so exciting. I'll be reading Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and then I pass that along to somebody in Canada. Somebody from the USA is going to be sending me books. The next book that I will probably be reading after Malibu Rising is Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And then we have Pretty Little Things by Sonia Carpitora. I'm saying that wrong. Totally saying that wrong. We have Happy Place by Emily Henry. And Mistakes Were Made by Marilyn Windsor. So those are the books that I'll be reading as of recently. I don't know when I'll be reading a lot of those, but I do know I am reading Malibu Rising currently right now, so I can get that sent out to the next person, and then it goes from there. And then when you get your own book back, you're done. You're done with it. And I cannot wait to receive my book at the end of all this, because my book's going to be going to Canada twice and then going to the USA twice. And this is just so cool. It's so exciting. I can't wait. So other books that I want to read. Like, as of lately, I've been such a mood reader. I'm actually fidgeting right now. I'm sorry. But I have been such a mood reader. And I think that's why I'm reading so much right now, because what else am I actually reading right now? I'm listening to a couple of audiobooks. I haven't really been vibing with very many audiobooks lately. I've been definitely wanting to pick up books physically and read them, which is I'm totally okay with that. According to Goodreads, I'm still reading Spare by Prince Harry. I just haven't really been in the mood to listen to that. I'm going, let's see, today is Friday the 7th when I'm recording this, and you might see this on Monday. So I'll probably already have, read some stuff. Or I've already, finished books or whatever. But I am going on a small little road trip over this weekend, so I will definitely be able to listen to more Spare. If I don't listen to Spare, I will probably listen to Push by J.C. Fuller, or may pick up a different audiobook entirely. What do I have to read? Because I am listening to the Push right now, and I also have Eat, Pray, Love that I can listen to. I can still listen to Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Like, there's so much that I can listen to. And if you have any good audiobooks, definitely drop them in the comments below, because I'm always looking for a good audiobook, and I've got 2 credits I can use. So I always definitely look for those short audiobooks that I can listen to. Not really short, but we'll go with like an 8-hour audiobook that I can put on 2 times speed, and when I drive, it usually takes me about 4 hours, and I can listen to it on the way there to my parents' house and on the way back, and I'm usually done with the audiobook by the end of the weekend. Unless it's really good, then I'll sit there and listen to it like in my car, like once I get there. But I have been such a mood reader. Like, audiobooks have just not been a thing lately because it's been crazy. I would really like to try and get through my Victoria Aveyard books, because I still have to read Glass Sword and King's Cage. I still haven't read these yet. I almost feel like I should go back and read The Red Queen as well, because I vaguely kind of remember what was going on and what happened, but I don't fully remember. But I would definitely like to get to Realmbreaker as well. But, you know, like, anybody out there who has read this, do I need to actually read what is it, The Lord of the Rings before I read this, or can I just read it on its own? Because I've heard right straight from Victoria's mouth for the TikTok that this is a Lord of the Rings retelling. So should I read Lord of the Rings before I read this? Let me know down in the comments. This is one of her most popular series right now. She is currently working on the 3rd book, or she might have already sent in the 3rd book. It's now through like the whole editing process. Either way, I love Victoria Aveyard's writing, and I would really like to read this. And this is definitely one of those ones I want to get to relatively soon and whatnot, so I'm here for it. I think, mood reading, it's a thing, and it's terrible, and I hate it. I hate every second of it. I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that maybe I have read 31 books, and maybe I'm maxed out for the year. But then again, I really want to try to get over 60 books this year. If I'm at 31, I'm well on my way. I'm almost there. And it's great. It's wonderful. I'm so happy that I'm almost there. Like, I'm over what I normally read in a year. And that is saying a lot for me. And it's just been insanely crazy. One book I do want to try to get to relatively soon, which I feel like I could probably do this like in a readathon or like a reading vlog. And I do have a reading vlog coming up relatively soon. I haven't really figured out how I'm going to do it yet, but it might be a weekend reading vlog. We'll see. But that is The Wanderer by Sharon Creech. Personally, I've never actually read this. And I feel like maybe I read it like a very, very long time ago, but I don't remember reading it. I don't remember what it was about. But Sharon, if you guys have been following me for a while, hi. Sharon Creech is one of my all-time favorite authors. So, yeah. But I definitely don't remember reading this. But it's like, looking at the cover, like, I feel like this is maybe what Moana was inspired by, like the Disney movie. But probably not. But that's the vibe I kind of get from this. And, you know, I feel like it's time to give it a read. I mean, I've collected a lot of her books at this point. Let's see, I've got Heartbeats, Chase the Red Bird, Absolutely Normal Chaos, Love That Dog, Walk Two Moons, The Wanderer, Eventually I want them all, because she is one of my favorite authors. And eventually I want to get this one read soon. Oh, also, in case you guys didn't know, that loud bang, ignore that, that was just a charger. In case you guys didn't know, I had to add another bookshelf to this room. Got a cute little bookshelf sitting over here now. So I've got one here, and one there, and one there. Yeah. It's been great. I need a new space. I need a house. And that's one thing that's been in the works. But, I mean, reading, it's been so hard. I just can't say no, it hasn't been hard. It's just, when you're a mood reader, it's the worst thing ever. Because you never know what you want to read. I do know. What was it? Where is it? What was it and where is it? I do know. Oh, I don't have a dust jacket for it. I do know that at some point soon I want to pick up Fallen by Lauren Kate. I've read this a couple of times now, but I think I'm ready to kind of read back through it and annotate it. I've never annotated it before, and I've been getting into annotating my books, and I think I'm ready to finally go through and annotate it, and I think I'm ready to read the other ones as well again and whatnot. I feel like I'm also ready to go through the Inkheart trilogy again. It's been a long time since I have read Ink Death. Well, I think the last time I read Ink Death, I was still in college, and that was like back in 2008, 2009. Actually, when did it come out? Because that was the last time I read it. Like, when this book came out was when I first read it, and I hadn't gone back to it. 2008. So, I think I'm ready to read back through this again. But I definitely would want to start from the beginning with Inkheart. And yeah, this one is definitely a chunker. $663. Holy Hannah. So Inkheart will definitely be a thing relatively soon. Even if I listen to the audiobook or whatnot. But I think out of all of them, Ink Spell was my favorite. Maybe because I listened to the audiobook and it was narrated by Brendan Fraser. I don't know. But I definitely enjoyed Ink Spell the most. I mean, I guess that'd be like all the books I really want to get to right now. There's just so much that I can be reading. Oh, there was one more book I can talk about. So I did promise a friend here on BookTube that I would send her a copy of this, and Miss Alita, I have not forgotten about you. I've been just so crazy busy and whatnot. It's just been a crazy, crazy life for me. And like I said, I have not forgotten about you, I promise. But The House Witch. So if you guys didn't already know, I am a witch. And I consider myself a crystal witch, but I would like to become a house witch. And I picked up this copy of this book, and I did accidentally buy two. So I did promise Miss Alita that I would be sending her one. And like I said, I have not forgotten about you, Alita. I promise. But eventually I do want to get through this as well. And this one, I don't know. Like, this one I feel like will be a little while. But I mean, I've read so much nonfiction lately that it's been crazy. I do try to at least read one nonfiction a month. And I haven't figured out what my nonfiction is going to be for this month yet. Maybe I might finally finish Spare. Or I don't think I even have anything non-fiction on my TBR. Well, I do have Your Mom's Friend Guide, the Mom Friend Guide, that I could read. That's why I Lovely Lady off TikTok. I do have Piece by Piece by Cheryl Fuller. I could finish Jay Shetty. There's actually a lot I could read, but I'm not really much in a non-fiction mood. But I still need to read one non-fiction at least this month. At least. But I'm starting to ramble on now. So if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you so much for watching all my random ramblings. I don't even know what books I mentioned now. I'm definitely have to go back when I edit this video and get all these books written down on what I want to read. I'm not counting this as my July TBR. I'm counting this as the books that I would like to get to in the next few months, at least throughout the summer. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how things go. So if you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. As always, every book that I mention is always listed down below, so you can go check them out for yourself. And I hope you have a wonderful day whenever you are watching this. If you haven't done so already, hit subscribe so you can join this cute little family of mine. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!